Good morning, Keller Williams One, Chicago. I wanted to show a different perspective of one of my favorite topics, which is opportunities. And instead of just showing opportunities, what I want to show you is the end result and how it will help with your business. So on the screen here, just making sure I did share. This is an email that came from a Facebook group post that I follow. And basically, this is a screenshot of what the client will get, And so bear with me 1 second while I go through some of this. And so the email is going to get this, or the client's going to get this email. Here's their name. We're checking off lists for you. Here's a summary. It's got the property address. It's got a photo of the property. And at the end of every day, in the time you designate, it'll send things that you have completed. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So I wanted to show you the finished product so that you better understand and then can start appreciating what this will do for you. Okay, so this is all done in Command. However, basically there's going to be this template that you're going to be working on. Right, so here, for example, is my basic template that I have for Buyer Cultivate. And this Buyer Cultivate section has a watch, a nurture, and hot. Okay, and then within each category, I've got some goals, some milestones, some checklists. And this will help you. I mean, even if you, let's say you didn't use Command at all, this checklist is still going to be very helpful for you in terms of giving you guidance and directions as to where you are in the process, what you should be communicating. And so what I'm working on is creating a very basic checklist so that 80% of the agents coming right out of the gate will have something to help guide them. So for example, you can see it's very basic. It's like, get their email, get their phone number, get their current address. And I've got other items in here about having talking points with them. So you might be like, well, I don't know what to call. Why am I calling? I don't know what to say. So I'm going to have some talking points, discussion, see if there's a spelling error there. Do they have something to sell, for example? Are they renting? And then based off their answers, you could add smart plans to them, right? So you can add a if renting smart plan, but that would assume you have a if renting smart plan, right? So again, just giving you some bits and pieces, some talking points, and then where that would show up. So let's go over this real quick. So this would be just your checklist. Hey, I did this, check. All right, hey, I did this part, check. Right, so your goal is to just check all these things off. And then once they move from within, in this case, 9 months, and they're within 9 months. So you've been on the phone with them and they're like, hey, I'm looking to buy in 6 months. So now you're in this category. So this first one is review any outstanding items. So what that means is there anything that was not completed here? And then you have a decision point. You're like, do I need that information or do I not need that information? And this way you're not necessarily moving things over from one to the other, but if this isn't checked, that means you still have something from prior to look into. All right, so then you have opportunities to start them on a monthly neighborhood nurture or bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. That's what that is. And maybe have a smart plan that's a bi-monthly call. Right, so here we're reaching out to them once a quarter, but once they start getting interested in buying and they're getting that much closer, once a quarter isn't going to cut it. You're going to have to make that call a little bit more frequently. You could even decide to make it monthly, right? So this is just giving you some guidance here. So I've got here something like email them a buyer roadmap, right? So we're building in some touching points here, contact points of discussions, of emails, of conversations, everything to keep them moving from what I call left to right, which would be, if you look down here in the bottom, cultivate, appointment, active, buyer under contract, and close. All right, so none of this right now is in command. However, all of this is part of your business plan, your, what I call here, buyer roadmap, right? Best practices to take a buyer from opportunity to close. Okay, so then what would that look like in command? In command, that would resonate here, where you have your buyers, cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and close. So then this section here, obtain buyer email address, should, and I haven't done this yet, but it should go in here. So these people here, oops, the checklist, this checklist will start matching what you have here. All right, and then from here you can like navigate. So when it says review, for example, right, this one says review outstanding items. You could do that right from here. You could say, all right, I'm in this section. Hey, were there anything outstanding items? Let's go back here and check. Right, so you can still go back and see if everything's been done. All right.
Thanks, Joe. Bye.
All right.